Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back, y'all, with episodes 3 and 4 of Married at First Sight, season 19. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Rhonda and Pat. So, baby, it's the next morning, honey. Rhonda done rocked his world all night. Do y'all hear me? All night. From jumping in the pool to the jacuzzi to jumping in the bed. Baby, these two are something else. So, production is talking to Rhonda. And they said, did you guys have sex last night? Honey, and did. Period. And she said, well, my grandkids are going to watch this. Girl, your grandkids know how you get down. They're just grinning and skinning and carrying on. Rhonda was like, it's just a beautiful night. It was a beautiful night. I'm sure it was. Brittany and William. So she was tossing and turning all night long. She said that it was not a good night. And I'm like, it's probably them damn sheets or lack thereof. But honey, let's get into it. I don't like this little antique hotel they in either. I'm like, y'all are really getting on my nerves, honey. Got these people holed up in these hotels like this. This is not what we're used to. What in the antique budget? But anywho, if Mirla from the Houston season saw these rooms, baby, there would be hell to pay. Now, y'all know Mirla hate a bad room, child. Or it will be some problems. So Brittany and William, they get their room service. She doesn't eat pork. She doesn't like ketchup. He's like, okay, weirdo, but you're cute. Now, I think he definitely does think that she's weird because, you know, there's a little bit of truth in every little joke. I don't like it. Okay, so please relax, sir. Please relax. Megan and Derek. So they went on ahead and went to sleep, honey. Did nothing go down last night. Megan tells Derek that he had a night terror. And I'm like, you know what? It's probably because he was extremely exhausted. Because I know that night terrors, they happen when you're exhausted. So maybe it was because of the day and all that he had going on, and you know, it caused him to have a night terror. Now, he did say that his dad has them too, and they will get really, really bad. He probably was scared after seeing that mama. That mama is in his dreams, honey, in his nightmares like Freddy Krueger. And he up there hollering. He wants your mom to leave him alone. Okay? Your mom's giving him night terrors. Jalen and Josh. So they're having breakfast in bed. Today is the day of her mom's wedding. And I was wondering, did her daddy know? And I forgot to mention this in last episode's review, but her dad is actually an ex-professional baseball player. He played for the Cardinals. That's neither here nor there. It's just a side note, but I forgot to mention it. But I'm wondering if he knew that his ex-wife was about to get married at first sight as well. This is so crazy to me. I still cannot get over the fact that these people about to get married. So Josh tells her that he wants to talk to her about something, and he brings up a post-nup. Now, I have been divorcing for 17 years, and I would advise anyone to protect themselves because people get petty, they get vindictive. I'm not saying that she would, and I'm not saying that he's sitting on a pot of gold, but I think it's only wise that he protect himself. So they start talking about it, right? And she says, yeah, you know, let's just get it done. Let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Because I'm not trying to sit at home and collect your money. Now, I don't know if I personally want to talk about this over eggs, but it's better to get it out of the way. Because if y'all gonna do anything, it's best to just have the conversations now so that we can get through it. Belinda and Chad. This is the first ever mother-daughter duo to be married at first sight. Now, I told y'all, I think that the producers are trying to top the scandal that they had last season with the couple swap. So here they have a mother and a daughter both being married at first sight. We meet Chad. Chad is 54. He says people think he's an a-hole, but he's not. He just likes to have fun. And Chad, let me find out you got RBF. I'm just trying to figure out, why do they think you're an a-hole? It ain't making no sense to me. Then we find out that Belinda is 47. Now, Miss Belinda, okay, with all due respect, you are a beautiful woman. I was not expecting to hear or see 47 next to your name. I was not. When I think about the fact that I am 43 and we are only 4 years apart and could have potentially gone to high school together, I was not expecting that. I'm like, what? 47? Now, of course, you know, Belinda has been married before because we've already met Jalen. She's been married before. There was a lot of infidelity on his part in her marriage. She had 3 kids. at the age of 19. She's been single for 8 years. She had her kids at 19. Went straight from her parents' house to her own home with her husband. This is going to be Chad's fourth marriage. This is Chad's fourth marriage, and she's been single now for 8 years. Baby, let me tell you something. 4 marriages and he's ex-military? Absolutely not, Chad. Nope, absolutely not. He said he's always trying to save others. Are you? I don't know. He's only been single for 3 years. Back over with Belinda, she said that she does not want to be alone or buy herself flowers. No matter what they singing about over there. I can buy myself flowers. She was like, I don't want to do that. Baby, Belinda said, I don't give a damn. I don't want to do that. Now, I don't know if Belinda will be physically attracted to Chad. I don't know. Chad just gives me pop. And I feel like Belinda still be zipping it and zooing it. So I don't know if she's going to be physically attracted to Chad or not. So now it's time for their wedding, honey, because, we skip the fluff now. We don't meet the people because we've already met them at the reception. We don't read the friends and the family's vows. We don't do any of that. We meet the couples. We don't even go back through the matchmaking process. Remember, they used to show us the matchmaking process, and then we saw this, and then we saw them being accepted into the program, and then we saw their mom and them. We don't have to see any of that. Here we go. It's time for the wedding. She's telling her bridal party that she wants a big guy with big arms and broad shoulders that has a fun personality. Over with Chad. His wedding party is just now starting to arrive. So it's his daughter and a few other guys. His daughter said, okay, so this could be the one that works out. Honey, let us pray. They says that what he needs is someone that is right for him, that is outdoorsy, that has a sense of humor, that can laugh at themselves. Over with Belinda, she's saying the exact same thing. So, we shall see. She likes a funny person that can laugh at themselves as well, because she said that she does it all the time. So we'll see how that goes. His daughter wants to know how he's changed from the last marriage to be ready for this one. Now, he didn't really answer this question, and I thought that was strange. He started talking about how his daughter is now in law school and she's doing well and he's doing great in his career. No, sir. What personal growth have you experienced for this to be a lasting relationship? Nobody asked you if your daughter was in law school. Nobody wants to know about your career. She wants to know, now that this is your 4th marriage, what are you going to do differently? And what have you learned from the other 3? Huh, Elizabeth Taylor? What have you learned? Don't make no damn sense. So now it's Jalen's turn to give a little advice to her mom, because of course Miss Belinda was giving the advice to Jalen, and now Jalen is giving the advice to the mama. This kind of reminds me of when a mother and daughter are both pregnant at the same time. Have y'all ever encountered one of those situations where the mother and the daughter are pregnant at the same time? It's so crazy to me. So Chad comes on out, honey, because we're at the wedding venue. Jalen sees him because she's sitting in the audience with her new married at first sight husband, Josh. And she's like, oh my gosh, he's cute. Me personally, I ain't see it, but it ain't for me. Belinda, ma'am, you looked very pretty in your dress. You did. You looked very pretty. She walked down the aisle, but I don't know, because I don't know if she's really going to like him. Y'all just would have to watch it to understand why I feel that way. I don't know if she's going to like him or whatever. She comes down there and she says, what's your name? He says, Chad. She said, Jed, ma'am. Chad. So once she finally figured out it wasn't Jed, then they commenced. They say their vows, and now they're pronounced husband and wife. Now, she did say that he looked handsome. So, I guess we'll give her a pass for that. Maybe that means she likes him in some kind of way. But it's just so interesting to me how they're one way when these initial interviews start. By the time they get to the shared apartment, it's all downhill from there. So they go outside, they sit and talk, and she's telling him that her daughter also got married at first sight. He was like, well, I hope she likes me. Not him inheriting a married at first sight alumni son-in-law / stepdaughter. It's so much going on, honey. It's so much intertwining, honey. It's just so much. So he wants to know if this is weird for her. She said, no, not really. Is it weird that it's not weird for me? It's a little bizarre, but that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. Moving forward. So they take their wedding pictures, which we didn't get to see either. Because, a lot of times They will all the time. They show us them taking their wedding photos, but they did not show that this season. Baby, Peacock said, look, let's get in there and get out of there. Let's get into it if we gonna get into it. I know that's right, honey. They are like me. They ain't got no intro. They just come right in. Hey, girl. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Baby, not Peacock copying my formula, honey. Let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, everybody gets married and everybody goes to the honeymoon. I know that's right. So they're taking their pictures, and Jalen and Josh, they're there as well. And she's like, well, do you think that he likes me? Because I can't really tell. This is Belinda asking Jalen. Listen, I can't tell if it's just nerves or what. I don't know if he likes you or if you like him. I'm not sure what's happening. So now it's time for their reception. They do their first dance as a couple. They're kissing. She said, are you a good dancer? He said, that depends on who you ask. Chad, please be normal. You have been telling little jokes since they introduced us to you. Him and his dad jokes, baby, they started as soon as we met Chad. Chad, just relax, honey. Just relax. You don't have to joke 24/7. Now, y'all know I love a good cackle as much as the next person, but I don't want to do all that 24/7. Even she noticed it, but she said she was giving him some grace because it may be his nerves. Yeah, it could be his nerves, and we do need to give him some grace, but the dad jokes will get on my nerves. My central nervous system wouldn't be able to take all that. Like, come on now, child. You got to get that together. So they sit down to eat at the head table, and he wanted to know where she would want to go on a date. She said, I would like to go for Italian food. Now, she named this restaurant. I've never gone there before. He said, whoa, we got to change that. Now, she's telling him it's a lot of things that she didn't get to do because she was raising kids. And I really hate that for her. And sometimes I think back to where my life is now and how I have a 10-year-old. And sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on things or I want to do certain things. But I have to think about the fact that she was raising children at 19. So when I was out having fun, when there were no cell phones or social media to actually record said fun, she was in the house with her kids. We're almost the same age. So when I was out wearing my business casual in the club, she was at the house with the baby bottles. So I don't regret how things panned out because I got to enjoy, and now I get to enjoy motherhood. And now she gets to enjoy, and all of her kids are grown. So either way, it just depends on what you want to do. A lot of people have grown children my age, and then a lot of people have small children my age. She's never had a wedding. She's never had a wedding dress. So a lot of these things are her first. And I was like, oh man, I really hope that she gets the love that she deserves. Belinda seems really, really sweet. And so does Jalen. I like both of them. And I like Josh as well. The cast is pretty likable. The cast is pretty, it's only about like one or two that make me go, But the other ones I really like. Now, I can't see this working right now because I feel like she may have needed someone without so many failed marriages. And I also think maybe she should have gotten someone her age or younger. I'm thinking 40 to 50. I don't know. It's giving 40 to 50. But maybe that's just me. So he went over there to talk to her kids, and Jalen is asking about why his marriage ended. He said, which one? I'm a repeat offender. Chad, now is not the time to be joking. After 3 other marriages, this is not funny. Okay, and I'm wondering if you're a runner. Are you a runner? Because why do you have 3 other failed marriages? It seems like when the tough gets going, no, how does it go? When the going gets tough, you get going. That's it. You get the hell out of Dodge. So I'm hoping that's not the case. So his sisters are over there telling Belinda that he's been repeatedly married and he needs a strong woman. I mean, it comes to a point. Okay, you cannot expect her to come in and save him. At some point, he's going to have to realize that some of this is his fault. He has to take some accountability and do some introspective work and decide to change some things. Listen, going through all the relationships that I went through, I now see the error in my ways, in some ways that I caused the demise of some of my relationships. And so those things going forward, if I ever were to get in another relationship, I would not do those same things. But you over here telling her, well, he needs a strong woman. That's not going to make a difference if he's set in his ways and he just likes to dump them as soon as they make him mad. Okay? Y'all don't piss me off. Moving forward. I personally think Belinda wants this so badly that anybody could have shown up to their wedding. When I say anybody, I do damn mean anybody. She meant married at first sight. Honey, I'm surprised she ain't going Love is Blind. Meanwhile, he seems like a serial monogamist. Chad, I know you like to put a ring on it. Shout out to Beyonce. But I am hoping that you are taking this seriously. He's like, well, I tried everything else, so might as well try Married at First Sight. No, this is not. Don't come over here playing with Belinda. Okay? Please don't. So they get back to the room. And it seems like, Chad has loosened up a little bit. It's the next morning. They're waking up with Folgers in their cup. They made it through the night, so that's good. Jalen and Josh. Jalen tells us that her and Josh got closer last night and they did the deed, honey. Went to Pound Town. Now, I just want to say this. I've never met a woman whose name is Jalen. So this is kind of throwing me off a little bit. Every time I say it, I'm thinking I'm saying something wrong because I know a lot of Jalens and they're all male. So when I say Jalen and Josh, it kind of throws me off a little bit. So y'all gonna have to excuse me. That's why it's like a pause because I feel like I'm saying something wrong. But her name is Jalen. So we see each of the couples and they're talking about their honeymoon. They're all waking up and packing. I wonder where we're going to go. You know how they do that. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so fun. Chad and Belinda. Chad done swung on by the jewelry store. Baby Chad said, listen, I'm going to get you a brand new set. We don't like that. I know that's right, Chad. I know that's right. So now that everyone is married, it's time for the honeymoons. So they show the men and the women meeting each other. And, they normally show us that when the men and women meet each other, they cut that out. They cut out the bachelor and the bachelorette parties. They cut that out. All the unnecessary things that we've been watching over the years, they're gone. But they did do a flashback to the men and the women meeting. This season, they're going to Panama. I said, oh, okay. Because, baby, I just knew y'all was going to Mexico. They're going to go to Mexico if they don't do nothing else. Pat done sent a video to explain how all of them can join the Mile High Club. I said, baby, that Pat and Rhonda something else, ain't they? But I'm going to tell you this. Unless I'm on one of those swanky international flights with the separate partitions and the fancy robes and slippers and the seats that recline into full twin beds, absolutely not. The mile highest club you gonna get is if you done brought a vape through here, because it's not gonna happen with me. Plain restroom sex? Oh, that is gross. Oh, absolutely no, ma'am, honey. And how y'all sneaking up in there? I know them people see y'all going to the restroom together. Absolutely not. I would not be able to do it. Count me out. You can call me a prude. You can call me whatever you want to, but don't call me in that restroom because I'm not coming. Baby, keep me out of it. Keep me out of it. Moving forward. So they get on the plane. Shoo, honey, they land in Panama. So they're showing all of the couples as they discover their rooms. Oh, wow, this is nice. It don't smell like roaches or nothing. So, honey, they looking around. This might be all right. Panama, here we come. First morning of the honeymoon. Brittany and Will. So something is a little off between the two because we saw this little personal cam where Brittany said she was going to go take a shower and slip on something sexy for her husband. Okay. She was going to put on a little lingerie. But the next morning, something seemed strange. She said, last night we got intimate and apparently there was no protection. And now they're both feeling weird. And she said that he feels like they should back off a little bit. Why are y'all doing this as strangers? I'm sorry, technically, y'all are still strangers. And even if you were not, STD, anyone? We don't know this man yet. And I don't care what kind of testing they said they don't know. We don't know him. Now, he told her they're laying in the bed together talking. He's like, yeah, I'm a bit confused after last night because I feel responsible for you feeling bad. Y'all are using a lot of words and they were talking in circles and it was giving very much word salad and word vomit. What is the issue? Is the issue that she wanted to not use protection and you did, but you did it anyway and now you regret it and now she feels bad because she feels like you're backing away after y'all did the deed? I'm confused. What is the problem? Now, she feels that because of her past and him wanting to end things with her after an argument, that's how Will feels as well. Well, baby, we cannot project what we went through in our past relationship on this man. He ain't do it to you. And that was the end of the episode. Child, let's just move right on into episode 4. See, they're going through some things and I'm not sure exactly what they're going through and why they're going through it because they didn't explicitly say we didn't use protection and now we feel icky. They just said, well, she just said that some things went down and then they started being real wordy. So we'll just get into episode 4. Jalen and Josh. So they're waking up, reminiscing on yesterday. And Jalen said who she sees really working because they're sitting up talking about which couples they think are really going to work out. She said who she really sees working is Megan and Derek. Girl, I don't know exactly what you're seeing. Now, I'm hoping she hasn't picked up her mom's bad habits because I don't think it's going to work. Next up, she sees Rhonda and Pat. Now, that I can see. I can see Rhonda and Pat before Megan and Derek. And then Chad and Belinda. She said she didn't really want to put her mom too high because she didn't want to really put the pressure on her. Will and Britt are next. And she said the reason for that is because there wasn't a lot of physical chemistry. Yeah, it just seems like duller than a box of rocks. It's giving nothing. Day 3 of marriage. Jalen and Josh. So they're enjoying breakfast and they're talking to get to know each other. You know how they like to do, honey. Eggs and arguing. They're sitting there getting to know each other. He brings up Burning Man. And she's like, what? Because, you know, you got to go to the desert and whatnot and just be out there in the desert. That's what you got to do. He's trying to let her know how intense it is. And Jalen is like, yeah, I know. I like to be on the inside. If it ain't got no room service, it ain't for me. And he was like, you know, there's no hotels there, right? I mean, he's really trying to ease her into it and try to see if she'll be down for things that he likes to do. Now, he told her once we're there, we're going to be there. Okay. There's no leaving. That would be a no for me. Okay. That would be a no for me, big dog. I'm not going nowhere in no desert sand and I cannot take a bath. I can't pee. And, you know, I just can't. I'm not going to be able to do it. Megan and Derek. So they're laying out by the pool and they're talking, catching some sun. And she's telling him because she's been alone for so long, you know, sharing some of her spending expenses, it's going to be a chore. Okay. She ain't used to it. And then she goes, I just feel like we shouldn't be talking about hard things on the honeymoon. Y'all got to talk about something besides Amazon. Y'all got to start talking about something. Every time he wants to know something deeper about Megan, she starts saying, I just want to have fun. I just want to chill. Ma'am, no, I know you want to chill and have fun or whatever the hell you got going on, but we are going to have to talk about the tough subjects. I'm sorry, we just are. Now, I know it's hard and whatnot, but we're married now. We're big girls. Rhonda and Pat. So they're having breakfast, discussing what movies they like. Baby, these two teenagers are a mess. Do you hear me? So they're sitting outside talking about the movies that they like. And Pat is just talking. At one point, I think Rhonda fell asleep. I said, Pat, I don't think she awake no more. Pat, she's not awake anymore. I mean, he was just talking. It's all about me. I'm like, Pat, you are going to have to slow down, honey, because you didn't even realize that your dang old wife is not even paying attention. So after he came up for air, because, honey, it was a little touch and go there, she tells him that she leaves the TV on when she leaves the house because she's been robbed before. As soon as she started talking, he starts talking about the food. Ooh, are those melons? I'm like, what is happening? She said, listen, I noticed that Pat likes to talk about himself, but he doesn't ask me any follow-up questions when I speak. Pat is a bit self-absorbed and maybe he's unaware. Okay, you know, because after a particular age and you've been doing something for so long and you've been by yourself and you're not really used to listening to another person, it just happens. So maybe he's not recognizing it. But y'all need to stop jumping in them pools and jump into some conversations because this right here is not going to work. Moving forward. So then we see the couples off on their different activities. Everybody's doing, you know, different things and they're having their little excursions or just sitting down eating. Belinda and Chad. So they're going to do a little shopping. And while they're shopping, she finds this cute little hat. And she says, oh, this hat is so cute. And Chad was like, just throw it in the bag. Honey, Chad said, I got it. You want it, I got it. You can have whatever you like. I said, I know that's right, Chad. He said, you know what? Seeing you in that hat is screaming Mrs. Williams, Belinda Williams. Baby, that sounds like a strong black woman name, don't it? I think it's an actress named Belinda Williams. Actually, it is. Chad, no, he love to be married. Chad, you love to be somebody's husband. Are you taking this seriously? Their banter kind of confuses me, though, because it's awkward, yet both of them are acting like they're having fun. So I'm not completely sold, but I am completely confused. I don't know. So they leave with a hat in tow, and she said it's a little bit different because she's used to buying everything for herself, and when someone buys something for her, it's like, what is happening? They sit down for a spell, they have a drink, and she's telling him that she would like to see his romantic side too. He said, oh, okay, I can work on that. Yeah, let me see if you can romanticize Brittany and Will. So things are still a bit awkward. Okay, they go to dinner. He's trying to compliment her and make small talk, but she is still in her head because what just happened? We were doing fine and now we're not. She feels like he's become distant since the horizontal polka. How has he become distant? He's asking you how you feel. I think because of what you've gone through, and I've been there, you feel like now he's acting funny, but it may just be all in your head. I don't know. I don't know if it's really a real thing or it's something that you've made a thing. They sit down. He's asking her, how do you feel being married? Not the same question she asked you at that reception and all you said was, I'm married. So now you want her to answer the question? Okay. Whatever she's been through has really affected her because this has completely derailed her mood. She cannot get back on track. She is trying as she might, but it's just not happening. So then Brittany turns around and asks him about his vulnerability and if he takes a while to open up to people. He said, oh, that's a good question. Now we're coming with the questions. Yeah, she came with the questions, but yet you never answered it. You just talked in circles. What do you do when it comes to being vulnerable? Does it take you a while to open up? You never answered. So she told him, I think that the two of us can get to know each other a little better still while having fun. He's like, you know what? I agree. And I will be there for you instead of trying to fix it in the moment. And he's like, and I want you to ask me more questions. Now, I don't know about these two because it's already tense. And I feel like the two of them are just arguing about absolutely nothing. He wants more questions. I feel like she was asking questions and he wasn't answering. Now he's asking questions and she's not answering. Everybody's upset. It's really weird. When I say really weird, I do mean really weird. Moving forward. Rhonda and Pat. So they're having a nice dinner. And hopefully Pat inquires about Rhonda and not just talks about himself. So she's asking what he's learned about her that's surprising. He said, nothing leaps to mind. Of course, nothing leaps to mind because you don't ask questions. There should be nothing that leaps out at you because you have not asked her one question. She told him, you know what? It seems like you only care about your life because of how you responded when I was telling you about me being robbed. Most people would say, oh my gosh, you've been robbed. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. But not you. You were on a different page. Now, I love the way that she just spoke up and told him in the moment. I don't appreciate not being asked about me because there are two people in this relationship. She didn't attack him, but she let him know how she felt in a way where he was open to receive it. So good job, Rhonda. Good job. Pat then says, I feel like I have to fill the space with words. And I get that. I understand both sides. I'm glad they're having this conversation. But like she said, honey, you can talk. That's fine. But you also need to be asking her about her and not just talking about your damn food. Okay, Patrick? Okay, Pat Daddy? We're going to have to ask Rhonda questions as well. Now, she wants him to know, more about her, but he's just defending himself and bringing up all of the stories back to him. As soon as she says something about herself, he's like, oh, well, this happened to me. This is it. And sometimes it's just a habit because I had to catch myself doing that. Sometimes you just need to listen and then talk about specifically what they're speaking about, not anything that relates to you. So she was just saying that she wanted to be named Jennifer. And I was thinking to myself, Patrick, what you should have asked her is, why did you want to be named Jennifer when you were younger? That's what you should have said. But instead, he started talking about, yeah, boys don't normally think about what they want to be named when they're younger. That has nothing to do with her. He said, okay, let's go back to you. So then she starts talking about her mom. She gets really emotional. Now, he did really good in that moment. He did. I think that Pat just needs a little loving correction. Sometimes he's just unaware. So I'm glad that he has a partner like Rhonda, not to raise him, honey. Okay. Or not to make sure that he does everything right. But when you've been without a partner, it's a little hard to jump back in that thing. So I'm happy that they had that conversation. Moving forward, Jalen and Josh. So they're out on a boat. Jalen would rather be shopping, but maybe that's just me. She's like, I'll do anything for love. Girl, that's going to get old quick. Okay, I know you want to do anything for love and whatnot, but you also need to make sure that you're doing something for Jalen, Megan, and Derek. So they're having dinner. They're making small talk. And Megan is like, yeah, I really enjoy our banter. What banter? It's one-sided conversations here, there, and everywhere. So he starts talking about how he liked the way that she let him take charge and hold on to the passports and do everything that involves their travel. He really appreciated traveling with her. It was nice. She said, yeah, I like to give up control in my personal life because in business, I'm always in the forefront. I'm always in charge. Basically, she wants to shut her brain off. When I tell you that is so the truth. When I first started this channel, I was still going to the school of sharpening young minds. Baby, when I would get on this channel, the way that I would turn every piece of my brain off, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to speak correct English. I'm not going to pronounce words with all my might. I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say, and hopefully the people get it. Okay, now let's get into it if we're going to get into it. I ain't got time. So I completely understand. But as they were sitting there, I'm like, these two are like watching paint dry. He's asking questions and she's answering him barely and eating. And I blame her mama. Everything that happens with Megan, I blame her mama. He said, well, I would like for you to ask me questions as well. So then he looks at her. He said, growing up, were you closer to your mom or your dad? She said, my mom. He said, I can see that. I know you can, because for so many years she's been up under that mama, and that mother has definitely rubbed off on her, and not in a good way. Rhonda and Pat. So they're out meditating in the forest and whatnot. And child, they're already saying, I love you to each other. I'm like, easy there, you two crazy kids. Now I love you already. Okay. They held hands. They expressed how they felt to each other. And I think Pat really took in what Rhonda said to him, which is really big. Because a lot of times you feel attacked. Like, what? I'm doing that? Why are you saying that? When you haven't been in these spaces for so long. But he actually took in what she said, and they had a great meditation session. Jalen and Josh. They hardly ever show her mama and Chad. I was like, where is Belinda and Chad? Honey, let's get into that. They must not be giving nothing. That's probably why they're not being shown. So he's taking her to the top of the rainforest. Now, Jalen is constantly saying, I don't like outdoorsy, adventurous things. She said in her past relationships, that was one of the things that she didn't like about her other partners. They were just a little bit too adventurous. So he's taking her to the top of the rainforest. And Jalen is screaming, honey, fighting off bugs and whatnot. She just does not want to be there. He said, yeah, I want to take her out of her comfort zone a little bit. Now, let me say this. I don't mind that, but don't put her in uncomfortable situations you know that she doesn't like. And I feel like that would be a compromise on your behalf, because everything that you are doing is something that she wouldn't normally do. It's okay to go shopping with her and do things that she likes as well. Because so far I haven't seen any. So they get to the top. And he presents her with a new ring. I said, okay, Josh, I forgive you. Because I was wondering what that crackerjack ring was. So I'm going to go ahead and forgive you because you put that rock on her. Other than that, I was going to give you what for. But no, in all seriousness, though, you need to make sure that you're doing things that she likes as well. I hate when people, I'm going to take you out of your comfort. I don't want to be. That's the whole purpose of comfort. It feels good. It feels good. If I want to get out of it, I would get out of it. Okay? I say good day. He's telling her, she deserves to have a rock on her finger and not that little bitto band that she had on. I said, okay, mother and daughter, upgrade. Upgrade you. Can I upgrade? Partner, let me upgrade you. I know that's right. Shout out to Beyonce and Jay-Z. In the next scene, the men and the women are all going to hang out separately. You know how they like to do. The men over here and the women over there. The ladies, they're sitting and talking. Rhonda is asking how it's going, and Jalen said, it's going great. Honey, have you seen the Rock of Gibraltar? It's going good. So they're all like oohing and ahhing over her ring. And Brittany's like, I saw this ring in the airport or at the jewelry store or somewhere. She said she saw a ring, and she pointed it out to Will. Girl, he won't be buying it. So then Brittany wanted to know if anybody has said the L word. Nope, nobody except Rhonda and Pat. Jalen said, I know it's there, but we just haven't said it. Meanwhile, Josh is over with the guys saying the exact same thing, and he said it's going to come soon. Jalen said, has anybody gone there, to Pound Town? Rhonda said, is that even a question? Honey, I know that's right, honey. Rhonda said, I'm grown. I'm grown. Now, everybody has done the deed, but I thought it was so awkward when Jalen said in the confessional, I'm happy my mom's having sex. I'm very happy for her. I don't know if I want to be involved in my mama's sex life. I don't want to know. Keep me out of it. Absolutely not. It seems like everybody is saying great things because they're panning between the men and the women. And then there's Brittany and Will. She says their personalities are so different, so they're trying to navigate things. Yes, y'all are very different. You can say that again. Rhonda then says, me and Pat, we're a lot like that too. We had a communication breakdown, and he was not asking me anything about me or my family. Over with the guys, Derek says, yeah, me and Megan, we're going through something similar. We've both been single for a while, so navigating being with someone is a little bit challenging. He feels like she isn't asking much about him. And see, I told y'all it's a pattern between the couples. One person in the pair doesn't inquire about the other person. So that's something that's happening with all of them. Megan is over there talking about, well, you know what? Will is kind of reserved like me, and maybe it's just taking him a while to open up. And I just feel like y'all need to keep it light. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Y'all have to get to know each other. That's what this time is for. When you go back to the shared apartment, you are thrusted back into real life. Y'all are going to be going to jobs and doing other things. This is the time to get to know each other. I understand you being reserved, but you signed up for this. So, you got to do what you got to do. So then Brittany says, well, yeah, he is very reserved, but I want to get to know him. Over with him, he's saying that she wants to get to know everything. He said, like, what, do you want to know that I had light up sneakers and a Spider-Man birthday party as a kid? There's no need to be condescending. Okay? None. Getting to know you is a part of being married. Y'all don't know nothing about each other except each other's names. I don't get the issue. And so far, I'm not really a Will fan, but maybe that's just me. I'm just not. Back over with Brittany. She said, you know what? Will and Megan are a lot alike, but she said, I just want to get to know him and get to a point where he lets his walls down. And I completely agree with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get to know him a little bit better. Megan and Derek. So the couples are all back together. Derek said it was refreshing that Pat and Rhonda had the same issue and they, constructively worked through it. Megan is very different than Pat, but maybe that's just my opinion. I don't see her willingness. At least Pat was willing to adjust when things were brought to his attention. I don't see that with Megan. She seems stuck in her ways. She seems spoiled, and it just does not seem like she's willing to bend. She wants to avoid every serious conversation that couldn't be avoided. That's not how this works. There has to be a middle ground. So they go out surfing, right? And while they're in the water, he tells Megan, I really want to get to know you, like everything about you. And I feel like I've hit a wall with questions, but I want you to ask me questions too. Well, baby, what'd he say that for? She gets defensive and says, so you don't feel like I'm asking you questions? What? Now you can tell that he's gently approaching this subject. And she's like, yeah, I felt the same way about you. I don't feel like you're asking me anything. Megan, you're lying. Okay, just flat out, point blank in the period. You're lying. The man has tried to ask you questions. It's like pulling teeth. So now, because you're outside of an ice bath, you don't want to have a conversation. She is so immature to me. He has been the only one that I've seen asking questions. Now, this could be editing, but I know it's not. You have not been asking any questions. You just want to avoid heavy topics or even small topics. Hell, you don't want to talk about nothing. Absolutely nothing. You just want to enjoy the sun. And I think it's because her brain is always on at work. So she sees this as a real vacation and not what it is, getting to know your spouse. So she doesn't want to talk about anything, and she means that. Moving forward. Megan, I just want to say this to you. And there's not any planet where you can go into a decision day and decide that you're going to say yes and you don't even know the person's favorite color. Just would not make any sense. So basically, you're just hanging out with this dude until decision day. That's what it's giving me. It doesn't have to be all at once, Megan, but you do have to talk. You do. Now, he wanted to know what she wants him to ask her. So then she starts gaslighting him. And she says, well, you know what? I don't know. But I know that I have been asking you questions. I don't know what you do. You don't really know what I do for a living because you're not talking. That's the point of this. That's what he's trying to get to. You're not talking. He tells her, well, I want us to get to know each other in general, period. I just want us to get to know each other. Now she's in her feelings, saying that she feels ambushed. What is the issue? He was very kind in his approach. These are foundational things. All he said is, let's get to know each other in general. And now you need 3 to 5 business days to recover. Why? She's like, I feel attacked. I need to be by myself. I don't want to be around him. I was so confused at her response. Derek, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. If you keep on with Megan, I fear that you may be walking on eggshells, which is ridiculous because there should be no argument about you getting to know her. Brittany and Will. So baby, these two come back together, right? How's the weather? The weather's fine. How'd you sleep? I slept great. They speak to each other very transactional. There's absolutely no chemistry. I don't know if both of their personalities are dull or what, but it's giving absolutely nothing. So they start talking about what they did when they were with the guys and the girls. So Brittany tells him how she spoke with Megan and realized that the two of them are a lot alike. And she's like, yeah, you're like Megan and I'm like Derek. She said, I'm very open and I want to, dive into the deep end and the deep conversations. He says, no, you don't, because you haven't. She says, I've been trying to. He said, how? With words? Yes, with words. I can give you at least 3 examples since the episode is aired. She tried at the reception. She then tried again at the restaurant when you were wearing that damn dangly earring. I hate a dangly earring. Y'all know how I feel about a dangly. She tried at the restaurant. Not to mention that you were with the men saying she wants to know everything about me. I'm like, what do you want to know? Did I wear light up shoes and I had a Spider-Man birthday party? Now you're standing in front of her face telling her that she was not asking you any questions. Which one is it? Make it make sense. What are you talking about? You say a few words and now you're acting like she hasn't said anything to you. So now he's saying to her, I'm the one who is asking the questions, not you. She said, I'm just trying to figure out how I can be a better wife for you. Like, what do you like? What can I do, as a wife to make you happy? Now, he's getting very defensive and he's taking little digs, talking about, I don't need words of affirmation like you do. And I mean, that's okay. What does that have to do with anything? Child, I know y'all filled out a questionnaire, but they did tell you were going to have to actually engage with these people, right? Some of y'all should have stayed by y'allself. So then she tells him that she's frustrated because they're in 2 separate books, not even on 2 separate pages, just nowhere near each other. She wants communication and he's still acting like he doesn't get it. It's the 1-word answers for me. Every time she says something to you, you answer with, that's okay. That is so frustrating. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go take a shower. She walks away, but she ends up down at the restaurant, honey, ordering her some chicken strips. So he's sitting down and he's saying to the producers, every question about family or exes, I'm the one that's asking the questions. It's never her, but she wants to know so much. She wants to be so vulnerable. Meanwhile, downstairs, she's talking to a producer and she said talking to him is like talking to a brick wall. Production said, well, what would make you feel better? She said, I mean, if he actually came and talked to me and act like he gave a damn, that would make me feel better. Upstairs, he said, I'm not chasing her. She left for a reason. Ooh, wee, honey, I would definitely not continue on with you. Because in a marriage, you cannot just say, oh, my wife left, so I ain't looking for her. That's not the attitude to have. Sometimes you got to compromise. He said her leaving tells him that she needs space. But he had to figure that out on his own because, again, she's so vulnerable, yet I have to read what she's saying and how she's feeling. She just lacks self-awareness. Now, I don't think she wanted you to chase after her. I really don't. I think that she was kind of blowing off steam and didn't want the argument to escalate. And so instead of running past the shower, she ran on downstairs and started, stress eating. I don't think she wanted you to chase her. But it's not cool to say that you're going to take a shower, Brittany, and then completely leave the room. That's not how it works either. Both of y'all have to work on your communication and staying in the moment. It's okay to take a breather. And I had to learn that because when I was young and married, baby, it was hell on wheels. But you have to take a little bit of a breather and then come back together. And I can see why these people are single because the way that they are blowing up and we are in episode 4, this is a mess. It's very hard to break old habits. I get it. But in marriage, you have to bend and compromise. This was an unnecessary argument. It really was. Y'all are saying the same things. I want you to ask me more questions. I want you to ask me more questions. You don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about me. I've been asking all the questions. I've been asking all the questions. One of you needs to take a step forward. Honey, what do I like to say in my reviews? Moving forward. Honey, somebody need to move forward because y'all getting on my nerves. Let's get into it if we're going to get into it. All both of you have to do is start talking to each other, asking questions and following through. So now y'all are separate and she's in the lobby eating these damn chicken strips and honey mustard. And you are upstairs saying you ain't following behind her because she downstairs eating chicken strips and honey mustard. That is insane. And that was the end of the episode. Listen, these two are about to implode. I do not know how the next episode is going to go, but I don't think that Will is really interested. Truth be told, I don't think that Megan knows how to not be her mom. Poor Derek. Jalen and Josh, please do some things that Jalen wants to do as well. Because it's going to get old pretty quick. Always being outside in the dirt, in the sand, in the rocks. Okay? She doesn't want to do all that. You need to do some of the things that she wants to do. Take a page out of Chad's book and go buy her a hat. Chad and Belinda, I'm not sure yet. Rhonda and Pat, nah, you've been warned. Okay? And I think you're doing all right. But let's just get it together or leave it alone. Y'all comment down below. Tell me exactly what you thought about episodes 1 through 4. Listen, next Thursday it starts all over again. Yes, it does. Woo! I am exhausted, honey. 4 whole episodes of a review. Y'all better not ask me for nothing. Now, pretty soon we're going to start incorporating lives when it gets down to it. Comment down below and I'm going to comment back. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.